Just telling my audience that these are very bizarre times for crypto.
And the great news is it's nothing new. I've been around the space.
So, David, why Web3 for you?
It's really simple. I've been working in finance for a long part of my career, and it gave me satisfaction, but there was something missing. And for me personally, I really wanted to do something that changed the world. I wanted to lie on my deathbed and look back. I knew that I was part of something a bit bigger.
Most of the people are here for some purpose. I mean, this is what we like about Web3 ourselves, that out of 10, at least 5 people are here purpose driven. Can you just help us understand that how Near is different when it comes to other altcoins or even Bitcoin?
We actually originated as an AI company, and we really needed to pay people. So we ended up building a blockchain that is pretty much the same as every other blockchain, apart from the fact it's sharded so it can scale really fast. It's got super fast finality. We've got the ability to swap any asset for any other asset across any chain. So we really get to open up Web3 and unify liquidity across the whole of Web3.
I can roughly estimate that 70%, 70% people are more interested about the price metrics, how it goes up, how it goes down.
The market is still heavily narrative driven. What is currently catching hype, and you see a lot of stuff coming through with DATs right now. There's a lot of hype that's coming around. We've still got meme coin craze coming through, but that's really died down a little bit recently, but RWAs are becoming more meta. So we certainly won't be launching our own stablecoin anytime soon.
Hello everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Voice of Web3 powered by Brand Talk and CoinGate. A lot is happening in crypto, right? I mean, it's just going bizarre now. We are at a stage from Donald Trump, trending the markets, to a lot of companies now actually accepting crypto as their reserves, actually having crypto on their balance sheets. Wall Street coming heavy into crypto, right? Buying lots of ETFs, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, Near. So this is kind of right now very bizarre to understand for a new mind, somebody who is new to crypto. And this is what we are here to help you. We are here to help you. We are here to help you understand what is happening in crypto, why it is happening, and what may be the road ahead. So to help us understand how the crypto market is going right now and what may come ahead, we have somebody very special today. And he has more than 20 years of experience in crypto. He was earlier part of some interesting startup when it comes to AI and crypto as well. And right now he's actually leading one of the top blockchains, layer 1 blockchains when it comes to crypto. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome David Norris to the platform from Near Foundation. He's right now the chief finance as well as a strategic officer for Near Foundation. Hi, David. How are you?
Hi there. Great to see you, Sunil. Thank you very much for having me on.
So, David, I was just telling my audience that these are very bizarre times for crypto. I mean, a lot is happening around, and with the introduction of Wall Street, this all seems so overwhelming for retail investors. I mean, sometimes I myself is very confused that how do I make sense out of these things? Trump saying something about tariffs, the market reacts volatile. I mean, the volatility just peaks up. Then somebody coming and saying, "Hey, we are having this crypto reserve." So this is too much for an average investor. And here at Voice of Web3, this is what we are here for. We just want our audience to be well informed. We want them to have awareness what is happening, and just to have them here. So David, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thank you. And the great news is it's nothing new. I've been around the space and it's always been a little bit overwhelming in terms of what's happening in the market. So it's just a new cycle, new dynamics, and it's an exciting time to learn.
I saw a meme somewhere, that crypto people are aging much faster than the other guys in finance.
Exactly. I'm only 24 years old. Look at my 40s.
So David, whenever we have somebody on the podcast, it's very important for us to help our audience know what their background is, why they're important when it comes to crypto, and what position or role they have. So we would definitely, first of all, like to know more about your journey, because I'm personally very excited to always know that why people are choosing Web3, why they think that Web3 is the moving ahead, why it is the most vibrant or growth centric, let's say, industry moving ahead. So David, why Web3 for you?
Thank you very much. So why Web3 for me is really simple. I've been working in finance for a long part of my career and really got into the whole user side and really what's going to drive better experiences for people. And I was working for for-profit companies a lot of the time to see how we could really bolster the P&L and the balance sheets. And it gave me satisfaction, but there was something missing. And for me personally, I really wanted to do something that changed the world. I wanted to lie on my deathbed and look back. I knew that I was part of something a bit bigger. And for me, when I came across NEAR and what was happening at the foundation, I had to be a part of it. Web3, I also saw most of the smartest people that I knew across technology, finance, all migrating to the space. And when there's usually a flow of people coming down that way, I knew that's the path I also had to follow.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if you, so most of the people are here for some purpose. I mean, this is what we like about Web3 ourselves, that out of 10, at least 5 people are here purpose driven. They are not just here for, let's say, with the excitement of the swinging markets. I mean, 100x, 10x, these kind of debates happening. Of course, it charms any mind. But yeah, I mean, this is just how Web3 is progressing. So David, I mean, of course, most of our audience are very well versed when it comes to what is layer 1, what is layer 2, what is Bitcoin. But if in case, let's say I was a layman investor, I'm just hearing about NEAR, I'm just hearing about the NEAR project, then can you just help us understand that how NEAR is different when it comes to other altcoins or even Bitcoin?
Yeah, for sure. I think every single project out there has a slightly different purpose. For us, we actually originated as an AI company and we really needed to pay people. So we ended up building a blockchain that is pretty much the same as every other blockchain, apart from the fact it's sharded so it can scale really fast. It's got super fast finality, 600 millisecond block times, but this is all table stakes. No one really cares that we're super fast, super easy to use, because lots of other people also are. But what that really does give us is the ability to open up all these different use cases that don't exist today. The one thing that really differentiates NEAR, or two things I'd probably say. Number one, we've got the ability to swap any asset for any other asset across any chain. So we really get to open up Web3 and unify liquidity across the whole of Web3. That creates amazing use cases for anyone that wants to be able to swiftly and easily move between wallets without having to carry 20 different wallets. It also allows institutions, enterprises to start entering the space and not be really limited to a single asset on that single chain. The second thing that really differentiates us is the vision that we have around AI. We really believe that AI should be working for you and not extracting from you. So we've been building the infrastructure to allow people to be privacy first and have AI agents to create these amazing journeys in your life that really looks after yourself. Imagine a world where you can decide that you want to be entering Web3. You also want to have some fiat exposure, but you don't really know where to start. We're building infrastructure to allow AI agents to run those strategies on your behalf, for people to actually be able to have agents that support them with everything from travel booking, money management to health. And that's a really exciting future that I can't wait to become reality as we progress down this path.
I'm sure, I mean, our audience is also, along with me, very excited to talk to you about AI agents, ChatGPT, OpenAI. I mean, this space is just buzzing right now. And the way crypto is slowly integrating AI, native AI platforms to itself is also kind of very exciting. And we will definitely come back to this. But
Sure.
I mean, everybody here, when I can roughly, estimate that, yeah, 70%, 70% people are more interested about the price metrics, how it goes up, how it goes down. And we have seen that the token economics has been, it's a basically kind of business model that anybody has right now for the token price valuations. So if I were to, let's say, understand that what's the best case scenario for NEAR in the coming years or months, when it comes to the price valuation, then what sort of things you see that will actually, let's say, increase the current valuation of, Near. So currently, if we see Near is somewhere around 3 billion market cap. It is right now ranked 36 on coin market cap. If I were to, let's say, see Near in the first top 10, then what maybe those factors you are seeing that will actually take Near there in the top 10 seat?
Yeah, I think the reality is that the market is still heavily narrative driven. What is currently catching hype, and you see a lot of stuff coming through with DATs right now. There's a lot of hype that's coming around. We've still got the meme coin craze coming through, but that's really died down a little bit recently. But RWAs are becoming more meta. The one that hasn't really gone away for the last 18 months has been AI, which is the heart of our strategies. So for us, we actually are not really too focused on market cap at this moment in time and seeing we've got to make that move fast. What we're really obsessed with is delivering amazing products that actually drive value back to the token. You said business model on tokenomics. It's not actually a business model at all. That can be so easily gamed depending on where you are in your evolution. What we're trying to do is to create this value accrual that continually takes the Near token out of supply. The natural reaction to that is that demand goes up because people want to be a part of the ecosystem, and then we do see a follow-on from that. As CFO, I definitely can't speak about price, but what I can do is really focus on those fundamental drivers of business, and then make sure that we've got the right communication that comes out to educate people about Near. The wonderful opportunity that we've got with our strategy at the moment is a lot of people still don't realize that we're doing so much in the AI space. And that gives us a great chance to be able to speak to new audiences where there's real users and get that whole next generation of community to come through and support Near on its journey. So super excited about what we can do.
So you recently also launched a fund around AI agents, particularly, if I'm correct, right? I think this will be a nice time that we can actually deep dive into it. And as you rightly said, that you see AI narrative as one of the key components in the coming months for Near that will definitely kind of establish its leadership, establish its strength on the market as well. So, I mean, if I were to understand the current overall developments in AI at Near Foundation, what are those the most exciting development that you can share with us when it comes to AI particularly?
So the most exciting is around the supporters that we've got across the ecosystem. So we've got multiple projects that are building an AI, and we've got specific teams that are set up to build that infrastructure. We've also been able to utilize the funding that we've got to be able to bring on strategic partners. So we've got the likes of Fala that have come along to support us with our trusted execution environments. And that really opens up the opportunity for privacy. Without that, we can't embed smart contracts into trusted execution environments to allow your data to be protected and not exposed to other people. That's the kind of partnership, the kind of investments that we're putting through, how we're using external funding as well to be able to make those partners grow. And then that really strengthens our product proposition as we move through. So these are the kinds of things that we're really excited about, because each of these partners that we team up with really creates this modular bolt-on to our infrastructure strategy that allows us to then convert it into real applications, real world use cases, real business models that we can sell into enterprises, into institutions, and into retail as well. So some exciting things coming.
So, I mean, David, if you can share with us, let's say, a few of the projects currently in the AI fund pipeline that we as an investor should be looking at. I mean, are there any particular projects that you see that these are going to wow everybody?
Sure. So we're not just exclusive to AI. We also have some really great projects coming through in DeFi, and we have Near Intents, which is our cross-chain swap, which will now be bringing in other propositions around lending and other trading mechanisms as we go forward. So the really exciting things for me that we've got that have been out fundraising recently, I referred to Fala, who's doing the TE work. We have our own incubated teams, Near AI, which has broken off into multiple forms to then be able to do future raises. We also have on the DeFi side the likes of Templar, Satoshi, which are going out, opening up Bitcoin use cases, and then we can also bring agents into those flows. So we've got multiple projects that are coming through that really do sit on the frontier of innovation and give us an incredible opportunity to bring new use cases that previously didn't exist. Things like native Bitcoin yields. We've seen lots of non-native Bitcoin yield propositions, but this native Bitcoin yield suddenly takes away some of those risk factors, and we're looking forward to seeing them fly.
So when we talk about crypto, we most of the time are talking about finance in a way, the new rails, the new way to finance everything across borders. And recently, you must have seen the stablecoin debate is everywhere right now. You can see Circle doing its IPO, a successful IPO actually. Other players in crypto also planning similar things. USDT betting really heavy on its US center market. Is there something we should be looking forward at Near Foundation as well? I mean, are there any kind of stable coin or payment related developments as well?
So we certainly won't be launching our own stablecoin anytime soon. However, stablecoin adoption is probably the ultimate use case at this moment in time, because it's so simple and it's been actually maturing for the last 7, 8, 9 years. That adoption is starting to come through. So the way that I really think about the stablecoin world, if we think it's starting to get boring, the rest of the market is starting to catch up and realize that it's available. So all of the efforts that people were going through to try and scale stablecoin flows years ago are now actually coming to fruition. So it's a really exciting point because it's caught the attention of the biggest institutions, financial institutions. Now, that's fine. Like, it's great. We need stablecoins to flow. We've partnered with some of the best stablecoins to be able to grow our ecosystem. We have a few more that have come through recently, like Frax, that are also bringing up adoption in the DeFi space in particular. But the projects that I really like and see is when it isn't just going for replacing transactions in the institutional world. It's actually when it really hits the end user. So we have a project called Abound. They're based in India, and they allow their users to be able to send money between family members in the US and Canada back to India, or from India to the US. That opens up great new ways for people to repatriate funds, to support their families, and to be able to earn yields at a time when maybe they couldn't if they were just held in their kind of native currencies. So yeah, they're the exciting projects that I really like to see come through.
Oh, great. I mean, that is something that touches your investor at a very personal level, because you take up your phone and you are very used to waiting 2-3 days at least when you do these cross-country transfers, wire transfers. Correct. And when you see something, happening as quick as purchasing something these days on quick commerce, you get money at the same speed. I mean, it really gives you a taste of what is about to come in the future. So it's really great that that Near is actually looking at it already. Now the second major narrative,
do you mind if I jump back in there as well? The other thing that's really exciting is everyone's really seeing the opportunity and talking about the opportunity being around the United States because it's such a huge market. But there is a big education story that needs to happen for the end user there still. The biggest adoption that we're actually seeing is across South America, in India and Africa and Southeast Asia. It's already been in people's psyche for a little while. And that adoption is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That actually gives a bit of an unfair advantage as well to be able to escape hyperinflation, earn yields, be able to access banking where previously you couldn't. I mean, that is the whole point of Web3. That's dead exciting to me.
Yeah, I mean, particularly if you talk about India and Brazil, they have one of the largest volumes when it comes to merchant-related payments. They have one of the most widely adopted payment apps as well. There is one in Brazil, there is one in UPI in India. So definitely, I mean, I'm on the same page with you that these countries will not only allow unbanked to get banked now finally, without going through the hassle of going to a bank or using those intermediaries. And this is quite quick as well. I mean, totally user-friendly. So, I mean, kudos to you guys if you guys are already looking at that segment of the market where people are still unbanked. So, David, I mean, this is a crypto podcast and we cannot ignore RWA. So much of hype. I mean, definitely there is a lot to demystify there as well, because right now everybody wants to tokenize everything. And when we particularly think about these assets, which are either securities or non-securities, you are kind of in a blind when it comes to a general investor. Because what happens in crypto is, if you see, most of us are actually very young. We didn't have that Ivy League kind of a background. We don't come from those kind of blue collar backgrounds that help us understand, okay, so this is securities, this is not securities, right?
Yeah.
So it is very important for us to kind of, differentiate the hype from the reality. So I'm really looking forward to your views on this whole RWA thing. Do you really think it is something that with that potential that it can actually create trillions of value that we hear from the existing real estate or existing assets?
In one word, yes.
Okay.
I really do. But I don't think it's going to explode. And I might actually be completely wrong on this. We'll see how the next year goes. Long term, I do see that everything moves on chain. We're already seeing within our ecosystem, we work with the likes of Open Forest Protocol, who have got tokenized carbon credits. We've got tokenized money market funds with Libra, Hamilton Lane. These are really nice ways for people to be able to get into non-financial and financial products using RWAs. Fantastic. However, the risk tolerance for most of the large institutions, where most of the narrative is right now of BlackRock coming on chain, is still a tiny fraction of the book. And we're talking a very small percentage of the total market cap of crypto, such a tiny percentage, but it is growing. And there is a consistent increase, like snowball building up of interest from the institutional world. Every time I go to Germany now, that's all that the German bankers want to speak about is tokenization. They've actually taken the next step from stablecoins onto tokenization, but other markets are not necessarily the same. The US is starting to get very interested as well. But we've got a lot of education to do, and we've got a lot of maturing to do as an industry. We really need to get better. KYC, KYT, KYB. We need to get better with email. We need to be able to get better with insurance. And we really need to be able to get better with being able to segregate funds to make sure that counterparties can only trade with other counterparties with clean funds. So people are starting to understand what is needed to get that tick that comes through the boardroom in these big businesses. So it will happen. It is coming maybe faster than I thought last year, but I don't think it's a big thing that is coming right now. I think people will still be trading this on expectation of future returns rather than the reality of adoption right now. I mean, a big out to Plume though, who are doing a fantastic job. I've been meeting with their founder a lot, and yeah, they're doing a great job to get great traction there.
I mean, interestingly, I was recently in a discussion with a platform who says that they tokenize your assets. You can actually follow the same financial routes. You can have an SPV, go to them, they will tokenize it for you. But my question was to them that who is buying? Okay, I tokenized it with your platform, but who will buy these tokens now on the other side? So where is the liquidity, right? So that was a very kind of a disturbing trend that I saw, that, okay, you're tokenizing everything, you're parking everything in the tokens, but who is buying? Because as far as I can see, I think retail doesn't still have access to those tokens, right? So in your opinion, who is the buyer here?
Well, the buyer still actually, there is an element of retail that is buying. But as you are saying at the top of this question, there is a big education piece that still needs to be done, that for a majority of the world's education into investing is actually still very low. And most of the people who are trading in crypto, the large majority actually are gambling. They're not trading, they're gambling. And so that education piece of the ability to be able to trade stocks on chain, well then what do you need to do to understand what you're doing there? You really need to get into the fundamentals of the business and understand what you are actually trading and how that works. So there's still a financial education piece that needs to come through before we see mass uptake from the retail side. But as we get more and more institutions understanding that they can be doing this from themselves to another institution, then that's also going to come. So I do think there's two different layers of customer that comes through, or user that comes through, but one of them definitely needs more education than the other.
I mean, I'm sure the next generation wouldn't have to worry about this. They will be all chill about it. Everything is on chain. They won't care what these things meant actually in the past.
Well, in the future, I don't think they'll even know that they're on chain. They will just be trading a single application, or preferably asking their AI agent to go and deploy their funds into a balanced portfolio and not have to worry about whether it's on chain, off chain, who's doing the transaction, no bridging involved. That's more the future that we're building towards.
So yeah, I mean, I will come back to AI agents. I know that is the most interesting part of this whole podcast, but I just want to get all the questions that were asked to us done first. So I'm now going to ask you a very big question. I mean, you can simply choose not to answer it. It's completely fine. But are we going to soon see a near strategic reserve as well, a near DAT?
It's something that's always interesting. We're seeing lots of people come to the market. If we were doing it, I wouldn't be able to tell you. If we were not doing it, I also wouldn't be able to tell you. So it's probably best I say we won't be able to tell you.
I mean, it's such a key part of discussion these days, that and most of these coins, I mean, if not for near, even for other coins that are doing these reserves, I personally see is that some form of, let's say, supply shock that they're trying to give to these particular tokens. I mean, what's the player? I mean, do you really see these things bringing a lot of value for these coins or projects, the DATs particularly?
Short-term supply shock, long-term expansion in the venues available to buy your token or have an interest in your token. So for me, looking into these, it is actually a really interesting way to be able to expand your user base. There are many, many people with very deep pockets who just cannot participate on chain, and DATs give you the opportunity to do so. Same with ETFs. It also gives you a liquidity event as a user. So if there's a liquid market, you can get in and out as fast as you like. It also gives you an opportunity to move out of your token if you do hold the native token and don't want to hurt the price on chain. So there's a really interesting user angle. There's also a very interesting supply angle from my side, which is you are able to raise a lot of money quite quickly and then use that to create that supply shock. Naturally, if there is that supply shock, there also comes with the downside, which is people would be taking profits, and then you actually unwind some of that supply shock quite quickly. So there needs to be a very strong strategy for all these companies that are doing DATs right now. How do you take it beyond your token in the future and really use it to drive value back into your ecosystem? Are you going to be using proceeds to help fund projects, create a VC arm within the DATs? And these are the different angles that are going to be interesting to see over time.
Quite good. I mean, so we all should see it as some sort of risk versus reward, such kind of situation. But I think this puts crypto or the new beginners totally into, let's say, in direct competition with the Wall Street, I can say. You are now competing with Wall Street with DATs.
Well, if we weren't competing with Wall Street, then why are we here as an industry? Yeah.
I agree. So now coming back to the AI agent part, David. I mean, if I were, let's say, an investor in crypto, I hold near tokens, near coins, I followed Near Foundation. What are some of the things in the coming days I will be able to do with the help of these AI agents? Or let's say, how will they help me in the coming days?
So I think the honest answer is we don't know what's going to happen long term, but I can talk about the vision that we foresee happening.
Okay.
Most people will agree that the world is going to end up being agentic-led, that there will be agents running microtransactions, running all the transfers that happen between any type of institution, enterprise, and user. There will be a world where a non-human journey will take place to fulfill virtually all of the activities in your life. What does that mean near term? You've spoken a lot around the financial side of crypto, around stablecoins and being able to access yields, and you didn't mention it, but the challenges that come with bridging, the challenges that come with security, the really near-term agents that are coming through right now, and we've got a group called Shade Agents, which is built by Proximity within our ecosystem. They're bringing out really interesting agents that allow you to put funds into your agent and ask it to go and rebalance your portfolio across any chain. You can ask it to be able to go and source the best yield on your USDC or USDT. So in this example, you might see that USDC on Ethereum is at 15%, and then on Sui it's 18%, and then on Near it's 20%. And your agent will automatically supply, take the 15, then see the 18, unbond, go into the 18, unbond, go into the 20, and you as a user continually can keep on earning more and more money. So these are the financial use cases that are coming. The non-financial ones actually is where it becomes really value added to your life. So we're already seeing AI agents that can analyze your health, your sleep patterns, your energy levels through the day, and be able to give you almost advice around how you should be better adapting your habits to feel fresh and keep your energy and be healthy. So there's going to be a whole raft of different options that come out. But the starting ones really are mostly financial.
Yeah, so I mean, the financial example that you shared is more like an automated arbitrage kind of a thing, but it is on-chain, I'm guessing.
Correct, yeah.
Cool.
And because we've got near intents, which allows you to move across any chain, then you can do it from a single wallet, which is great.
I think this is very well rooted into the whole governance model of Near Foundation as well, which is quite different from Solana or others. That actually you have a DAO system here. So I think this is kind of very gelling up pretty well with the core of the Near, if I'm not wrong.
Sure, and at our heart of our ecosystem, it's always been around trying to create experiences that are amazing for the user and protect the user. This protecting the user is the really important piece. Everyone that you know near enough uses ChatGPT nowadays, or the equivalent Claude, whatever it may be, to be able to help them with their life. Now, you are always sacrificing your information, your data, and as it becomes more sophisticated, then you're giving up more and more of your life. We want to make sure that that world is decentralized, your data is protected, and it works for you, instead of thinking, aha, I saw you searching for a car, would you like to go and buy the person that gave us the most money to promote their car within our models? So we do definitely have a strong values within what we're trying to accomplish, which is why we build products specifically for users and experiences, particularly for users, and partner with companies that also have the same values.
So, David, now we are taking some of the questions which are being asked to us. So we basically floated around online on our social media handles that David is going to be our next guest. So we do have some very interesting questions for you. Are you ready?
Sure, ready. I'll answer them as best as I can.
So the first question is about alt season. So somebody asked us that on Google Trends, the alt season first peaked. The search volume for the alt season keyword first peaked, and now it is again at the bottom. So what is your opinion about alt season? Is the alt season still there, or are we done with it?
Well, I'm hoping for my personal life that it's still there. I don't think it's anywhere close to being over. I really don't. I don't think it's even really started yet. People are starting to talk about it because we did see Bitcoin move, then we saw Ethereum move, and then usually the next follow-on has come through on alts. But we're still on tenterhooks waiting for the Fed decision around rates, and maybe that's next month. We'll see when the decision comes through. I don't think it's too far away, though, is what I will say.
That's one of the exciting parts about the overall crypto industry. Things are so much public that if you do some research on your own on Google, or you utilize some of the tools, then you can actually kind of be in the sync with everything that is happening. And with Mr. Trump being vocal about everything, almost everything.
The danger is that everything gets priced in. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
I'm
already
keeping my
priced in.
market.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So the next question is, what is one of the most difficult decisions that you had to make as the head of finance at BF Foundation? The most difficult.
The most difficult, it has to be people related. So we continually have to evolve as a business, as a company, as a not-for-profit, and we've been going through a transition over the past few years, which has been from a very altruistic company to then becoming more around how do we become more entrepreneurship, where we have a social purpose. We're really keeping that innovation at the core of what we do. As you evolve through the cycles of that, then we've had to make at times decisions to sadly structure the teams that sit within the ecosystem, and that means letting people go. They might be amazingly talented people, but if they don't fit with the vision and the mission at that moment in time, then we have to look for new skills. So it's never nice to be able to ask people to move on to new pastures, but we've had to do it at times, and that always comes at a personal cost.
So this next question is somebody who is asking. So they have asked us that this is asking David in his personal capacity as a finance executive. So they're asking us that we don't know how to make sense of what is happening in DATs right now, and we hear about Michael Saylor and the strategy. So there was, I think, recently something that Michael Saylor said about MNAV, reducing it below 2.5 or something like that. How big of that a risk or a reward situation is for Bitcoin? How does it impact Bitcoin actually in the long run?
It's a really tough one to answer without actually seeing the financials of MicroStrategy in detail. And MicroStrategy are basically betting that the dollar will go down. It's a depreciating asset. It will continue to go down in value, whilst Bitcoin is an appreciating asset and will always go up in value. Therefore, why not borrow as much as you can of a depreciating asset to invest in an appreciating one? Now, that clearly is a tactic that has worked so far. It'd be very interesting to see, as more risk comes in, as larger players come in, if there is something that is less market driven and more competitive driven of how do we disrupt MicroStrategy's strategy and be able to effectively make them illiquid. This will be probably why they're taking a little bit of risk off at the moment, to make sure that they can always balance their books. They're also big enough that they've been able to raise significant funds over time without taking loans. So yeah, I'm very much hoping it doesn't become a black swan. I'm not expecting it to be a black swan event. They have very intelligent people around them, and only time will tell. As an outsider looking in, I can only hope that they've got everything in order.
So recently, I guess there were a few experts as well on Twitter. If you see, they all have been pretty much vocal about. But again, as you rightly said, it's too much for a new investor to wrap their minds around. So kudos to this guy who has asked this question.
Indeed.
So the next question is about AI again. So what is the one particular futuristic use case of AI that excites you the most?
I'm going to go way out.
Something weird as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go way out into the future. I actually don't think we will have any need for applications in the future, and that your phone will ultimately just be one giant database of your information, your likes, your interests, your financial history, your health history, and you will have a singular AI agent, a singular AI that will be trained for yourself and works on behalf of yourself that you can keep private. That, I think, is an amazing vision, because you start breaking out into, well, what does hardware look like? Does it become more wearable? Does it actually become embedded, which is a weirder future, but possible? But actually something that's really designed for you and protected for you. That's the future use case that actually we believe that will happen. We're also interested to see what's going to happen in the robotics space as well. So there's going to be an interesting future coming up. On the near term, of the things that I'm most excited about, for me, is the financial ones. There's so much time that I personally spend trying to optimize my portfolio on chain. Having someone else to do it for them based on my patterns, my risk tolerance, that's actually going to save me a lot of time that I can then put back with my family.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, somewhere down the line, we will see the SaaS or the software aspect of the AI meeting the hardware aspect as well. So, I mean, that's where the disruption will come in. But yeah, weird times ahead. I hope all goes well.
Weird but exciting. Weird but exciting. Yeah, it's definitely getting Black Mirror-esque, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we hear here and there Elon Musk saying a lot about it. You know, sometimes he's 95% sure it's not a doomsday situation. Sometimes he says 90%, sometimes 85%. But whatever 5 or 6% he says that it's a doomsday scenario, then I mean, but yeah, I hope it happens all in front of us.
Yeah, and that's also why I think we talk about the bad side of AI. If you're worried about your privacy, if you're worried about your security, if you're worried about who's got your information, then come and join us on the mission for decentralized AI. And there's many people building in this space. The more people we have building in it to make it a better world that works for us, including at Near, then come and get involved.
Yeah. So the last question, this is pretty generic, actually. I mean, this is more about that if in case there are developers, investors, or creators who want to start building or participate in your foundation, then according to you, what will be the best way to approach the team?
So come and join us at near.org, which is our website, and you'll find a various place for developers, for projects, for any VCs, liquid funds, whoever you may be. You'll be able to find all the contact details, forms there to be able to get in touch with the team. Please also reach out on social media as well. You'll see us on our Twitter handle out there, or come and find me on LinkedIn as well. I'm always willing to speak with people there.
Yeah. So guys, this was all for today. Thanks a lot for sharing these amazing questions. As I think David rightly said, the future is AI, and Near Foundation is deeping dive into it. They're actually quite invested into it. And you guys, if you have some amazing use cases, you're a developer yourself, then you guys can reach out to them. And maybe together we all can build some cool stuff.
Amazing. David, thank you so much.